Hello. Where's the teacher? Can you hear me? All right. I don't know if I can hear you. I put it on headset.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Yay!
I was
Good
gonna ask you.
morning.
I
Yes.
was gonna ask you a question. Is it okay if I log off early or like log off because I'm in New Mexico and we're gonna be leaving soon?
All right. Yep.
I just wanted to sign on, just to say hi and like to let you know that I'm here. But
Wait, but are you here or are you not going to be here?
I'm here, but I was asking if I can go early.
Go early or go now? Those are two different things.
If I can go now, that'd be awesome.
Well, you can go now, but it's still an absence. If you're not here the whole time, you're not here.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So you decide. You get real good service when you're in the car on your phone. Got nothing else
I
to do,
know.
right?
No, it's because I'm the one driving. I have to drive.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
got
like
it.
300. I think it's like 340 miles or something like that.
Nice. All
I,
right. Well, drive safely.
okay, thank you. I'm gonna finish the lesson tonight or today when I get home.
Yeah, you have two homework assignments that are due tonight.
Okay, is it before midnight or?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll get to them as soon as I get home then.
Perfect.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Drive safe.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
All right. So good morning. How is everyone? Happy Monday. I've had nothing but tech issues. Super fun on a Monday. Yay. All right. So let me see. I got a little lost when I was letting people in. Is Antoinette here? I do not see Antoinette. Brianna, are you here? Elizabeth Johnson, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yay! Where are you here? Do you guys see Elizabeth?
Yeah, my video's up. I don't know.
That's so weird. Yes, I see you now. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see you, but I hear you. How's that? And Alyssa just came in. Who else? Is Dylan here? I do not see Dylan. All right. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine was crazy as always, nothing new here. If you looked, I put up assignments for the whole week, right? The more assignments, you can get started on those early if you want. I spaced out your due dates. And the reason I did that was because if I made them all due at the end of the week, guess when you would start them? At the end of the week. It's true. I know you guys. So, and maybe not you're like, nope, I would do it every single day. Well, you're the only one who would, right? Because that's not how it usually goes. I've been teaching a long time. So, lots of assignments are due on Sunday night, which I think is annoying, you know? Yes, Haley, what did you get over the weekend? I didn't see it. I missed it. Oh, so
It's
cute.
Baby Yoda. It's Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian.
Nice.
Best purchase I've ever made.
Does Baby Yoda help you stay calm and get your work done? Excellent. Karen, for anatomy, you had a lot going on too? Yeah. Joya, what tattoo did you get fixed up? Ooh, wait.
This one?
What is it? Is it a tortoro? I can't see it. I'm
No,
just
it's
hoping
not.
it was a
It is
tortoro.
from my favorite manga though. It's from a manga called Karakano. But I got it fixed up because they put like the Sandoderm on like my tattoo, and like it didn't react well with my skin, so I had like little like lines in the like where the wrinkles were that the Sanoderm they put over my tattoo was. And all when went to go fix it up, all the people in the tattoo shop, like all the tattooers were like, in my 19 years of tattooing, I've never seen this at all. And so I was like, okay, that's really scary, but okay. But they fixed it. It's fine.
That is scary. Yeah, I would be the one that
It's
they would
fine.
screw up. Like I would have some reaction they would not expect at all.
They fixed it for free. It's fine.
I thought it was a tortoro for a minute and I got super excited, but it's okay.
Those are cute. I see people with them.
That would be a fun tattoo. Okay, so we have a couple assignments. You can get started, you know, early so you can get things done on time. But first, I want to start with Mindfulness Monday because I definitely needed this. So you're going to need a piece of paper and a pen. Everybody show me you have a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. Okay, so you're going to write it down on. This is not something you have to do in your math notebook. This can be on a special fancy piece of paper, or you could do it, you could copy it again later in just a minute. Cheyenne, Vanessa, do you have paper and a pen? You guys got to text me in the chat. Thank you, Cheyenne. Jonathan, do you have paper and a pen? Jayla, Brianna, Vanessa, I need answers from you in the chat. Jonathan says yes. No, I cannot see you, Vanessa. Brianna says yes. Oh, you know what? You know that happened to me the other day too, Vanessa? It said my video was on and my video was just black, and I don't even know what happened, and it must have updated settings, and then when I logged out and logged back in, it was fine. So thank you. I'm glad you have a paper and a pen. Excellent. Jayla, are you good to go? Yes, Jayla said yes. Okay, good. Now, it's Mindfulness Monday. We're going to talk about gratitude, okay? So, and we're not even going to really talk about it. I'm just going to put up a slide for you. And there's going to be some music playing. I want you to take 1 minute, write down as many things as you can think of that you're grateful for, okay? And then you need to keep this somewhere when you're stressed out, okay, or unhappy, because it will really help you. And boy, did I need this morning with all my tech issues. So go ahead and I will play some music and you can, maybe I'll play some music and you can finish. All right, that was a minute, believe it or not. A minute goes faster when you're writing down all the fun or amazing things that you're grateful for, is what I think. My list got pretty long. I don't know about you guys, but I hope that just helped you put things back in perspective. Right now, this time of the semester, it starts getting a little bit more stressful. You know, assignments have ramped up. You're going to start having a lot more tests, maybe papers due, and things like that. So you really need to keep in mind what you're grateful for, because there's probably a lot of good things in your life that you're overlooking because you're so anxious about all the hard things that are going on, right? So I really hope that you take that extra just minute and keep that by yourself somewhere important. Like, I don't know about you, but I have trouble sleeping. Especially when I have a lot to do, right before I'm going to bed, I start like tick, 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 how many things I have to do the next day. And it's really annoying. And then I start going, oh, maybe I should just get up and do some of them now, but I really need to sleep. Yeah, so I don't know if that's you, but maybe you should I'm going to put my list on a nice little cute piece of paper, and I'm going to put it right next to my bed. So when I start doing that and freaking out, I can just read through that list and go, you're right. I'm just going to sleep, because if I don't get some sleep, I'm not going to be any good tomorrow. Okay. So that was just a little quick mindfulness exercise. Notice it didn't take a lot of time out of our class, but I really hope that you're starting to think about how to be less anxious when you're going through things, because there is a lot going on in the world right now, and it can be very stressful. All right. So I already started, I didn't copy this, so I have my last class's answers on there. I better erase them really quick. Hold on one sec. So this week, you have 2 assignments due tonight. Then you're going to have another assignment due tomorrow and the next day. So every day you're going to have an assignment due. So that being said, you need to stay on top of things, get organized, and be ready for things. Okay. So I don't think it's a ton of homework. There's not a lot of questions, but it is important that you remember to do it because those zeros will start adding up. So we're going to do this problem, which you may have seen a similar problem already. So for warm up, this is going to use some of those percent skills we already used, but then it's going to talk about that sample versus population. So the city of Raleigh has 7,000 registered voters. There are 2 candidates running for city council in an upcoming election, Brown and Police. The day before the election, a telephone poll of 550 randomly selected registered voters was conducted. 237 of those said they'd vote for Brown, 267 said they'd vote for Police, and 46 were undecided. So you're going to use the information from that sample above to complete the following statements about the population of all registered voters in Raleigh. Round your answers to the nearest person. So how many people do you expect out of the 7,000 should vote for Brown? How many would vote for Police? And then how many are undecided? I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to do that. Think about it. If you don't know where to start, type to me in the chat, and then we're going to talk about and have you guys share how you solved those problems. If you're done early, type to everybody in the chat, what's your favorite animation, whatever it is, if it's anime or just a movie or whatever. All right. I see that a lot of you are done. I know it's hard to have a favorite. And oh, nice. My son is binging on The Last Airbender again, even though he's watched it more than once. So yeah, SpongeBob counts. Morgan, are you joking? Yeah, I think that's fine. Coraline. You don't have to like anime, but do you like animation in general? Like there's nothing you like? Like there's a lot, right? Hercules is one of my kids' favorite. Steven Universe, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I can't believe anyone can watch that. I made it through one episode. The dog thing just, I couldn't do it. I was done. So it's true. The Bee Movie. Oh my. Nice. Okay. So who is going to be the brave soul who's going to explain what they got for the first one and how they did it?
I can do it.
I'm ready, Haley.
All right. So the first one was for Brown, and then I got, what was it? Hold on, let me find it. There it is. 3,017 people. Are we doing percents?
Nope, you had it right. I mean, you
Okay.
have the right idea. Did anyone else get that same answer?
She said
Pretty quiet.
43%, right?
Okay, it didn't ask for a percent. It wants to know exactly what
sorry.
number. So I like I like how you're finding your percent. Oh, Matt says he got 3,016 instead of 3,017. Anyone get 3,016? Okay, we have a couple who liked 3,016 better. Haley, tell us how you did it because Morgan's telling us exactly 3,016.36. So Morgan, Haley, tell us how you got the 3,017 and then we'll go from there.
So I took the 237 that said they'd vote for Brown and then divide it by the 550 overall. And then I got 43.1 and then, or 0.431. And then I just multiplied 7,000 by that.
Okay, so I know exactly why we're getting different answers. The only thing you need to do is when you divide that, multiply it right here. Don't estimate it right here. Don't round it here. Just multiply it by 7,000. So you know on your calculator you did 237 divided by 550 and you got a long decimal. It said 0.4309090909, right? Which is where Joya got the 43%. Just leave that in your calculator and multiply it by 7,000 because we don't want to round until the very end. Okay?
Gotcha.
And so when we do that, then we get something that's 3016, like Morgan said, but it keeps going forever and ever. Now this said, round your answers to the nearest person. So that would mean follow rounding rules and round to this decimal spot. So that 0.3 is less than 5. So we're going to leave it as this 3,016. Okay, instead of 3,017. So I know exactly what you did. Your mathematics was spot on. You just rounded too early. Okay, so just do it all in your calculator and let your calculator round because more will count it wrong if you're off a little bit. Any questions on how we figured out that first part? All right, so now how about someone tell me what you get? I'll give you about 30 seconds because some of you might not have known how to do it. And now you do know how to do it. So now you can do Felice and the undecided people, or you can correct your rounding. So I'm going to give you another couple seconds to do that. All right, who's going to tell me the answer for the second one? How many registered voters should vote for Felice or will vote for, or do they expect would vote for Felice?
3,398.
3,398. I love how Joy is like, why am I the only one who's answering, right? It's
No,
okay.
Cameron had his hand up.
Oh, Cameron did. Sorry, I just couldn't see him. Cameron, you can just talk, Cameron. Did you get the same thing, Cameron?
Yeah, I got the same answer.
Okay, here's my question. Are you doing it the same way that Haley did it, or did you do it some other way?
I did it the same way Haley did it.
Okay, did anyone do it differently? Nope. In my last class, someone did it using proportions. So they did something like this, where they did 267 over 550 equals x over 7,000. Would that work? Would we get the same answer?
I did it that way.
Who said that?
Laura.
Laura, excellent, good job. So, and you got the same answer, right?
Yeah.
Very nice. Some people like that way better because it's just easier for them to set it up. Doesn't matter to me, whatever way works. Okay, the third one, undecided. How many are undecided?
585.
Oh, nice. Now we had two people talking. That's awesome. So 585. I see Frida said that too. 585. Did anyone have anything else? No? All right. Now, does anybody have any questions or concerns about that problem? I want you to add these three numbers up and tell me what you get. Add up that 3,016, that 3,398, and that 585, and tell me what you get. Yeah, so you got 6,999. You're missing a person, right? So where'd that person go? What happened? Anyone have an explanation? Mason, why don't you explain it to me?
No, I just said the homie dipped, but it's like the decimals are like off. So you just rounded it down.
Yeah, so we had a problem because we were using rounding, so it's not going to be exact. Did anyone have a place that they thought that missing person would go, like when they did their decimals, which one they thought it would be best at? Because there's a difference between practical rounding and actual rounding, right? Mathematical rounding. We rounded mathematically, and that's why we just used the rounding rules, so we were off by one person. Where would you have put them? Which decimal was the closest to the next person? Nice. Matt says 585 was really closest, so we could have made it 586. The reason I bring that up is because Moore wants you to just use mathematical reasoning, right? And use the rounding rules and put in those correct answers. But in real life, we have to make some adjustments, right? To get up to those 7,000. So make sure you answer them correctly on Moore, but then also think about practical rounding if you were doing this for a real job, right? Okay. Excellent. And you can see those are the answers we got. And I just left it 585 because that's what they would want on Moore. Okay. So now we're going to do some 3-2-1 chats. So get ready. I know how many people are here, so I'm going to count how many chats I get, right? Make sure everybody's answering. So, and we're going to go over some of the vocabulary that finishes up S1 today. So an observational study versus an experiment. So an observational study is you're just literally recording things. That's all you're doing. In an experiment, something changed where there's a treatment and you're measuring a treatment. Okay, so if you're just writing down how tall a tree is, that's just an observation. But if you gave some trees extra fertilizer, that's an experiment. Okay, So an observational study versus an experiment. Everybody okay? Okay, so here's your first one. I'm not even going to read it out loud. You guys can read. You can get your chat ready, but don't hit enter yet. All right, so observational study or experiment in 3, 2, 1, go. Very nice. So I think you could tell that was an observational study. Who would like to tell me why it was an observational study?
I can say why.
Go for it.
So it's basically temperature being like measured like each day, like what was the temperature of one day or temperature of the next. It wasn't like what would happen if I did something to the temperature to change it as an experiment.
Absolutely. Excellent. Okay, so we're just recording. That's all we were doing. Here's your next one. Observational study or experiment. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. You guys are doing great. I'm seeing a lot more answers. This is an experiment because we're testing something out, right? And for you guys, you might know, you might be like, oh, I love to listen to music when I'm taking a test. Or other people might be like, oh, I would get an F if I listened to music when I took a test. So it's different for each person. All right. We're going to skip this one. Treatment versus control. So a treatment is an independent variable where it's manipulated by the experimenter, like putting fertilizer on the tree, something like that. A control group is a group that doesn't get any treatment or a neutral treatment or a treatment that's already known, okay? So that word placebo means fake. Sometimes we call it a sugar pill or something like that. So let's say we have all these people in a study and we're giving some people the real medicine and some people just a placebo. That means if we didn't give the control group a pill at all, they wouldn't think they're getting anything. So we have to make sure that it's not just a mental thing that's happening, okay? All right, so here's your treatment versus control. A team of researchers is testing the effectiveness of a new HPV vaccine. We have new vaccines in testing right now, right, for COVID-19. So they randomly divide the subjects into 2 groups. Group 1 gets the new vaccine. Group 2 gets just the existing vaccine. So the patients in the study don't know which group they're in. Which is the treatment group and which is the control group, if there is one. So you don't have to type in 3, 2, 1. We're just going to talk about it. We're going to have some volunteers. Yes? So which is the treatment group? I think that's what Haley was answering. Group 2. How many of you agree that group 2 is the treatment group?
No. No.
No. Alyssa says no, they're not the treatment group. Mason says no. Why not? Can you tell me? Haley says, whoops, I got it backwards. Go ahead. Sorry, Nathan.
They're receiving the currently existing vaccine, so that would make them the control.
Very nice. So group 2 is actually getting the existing one. So that's something that's known. That would be our control group. Group 1 is getting the new one. So excellent. Good job. Good job, Matt. Okay. And here's the one we have. Group 2 is acting as the control group since they got what was already existing. Okay. Here's a clinical trial. I don't know if you ever watch infomercials, but did you see Garcinia Cambogia? I don't even know how you say that, but it's a weight loss a possible weight loss drug. So they have two groups. The first got a chemically inactive pill, so it doesn't do anything with an exercise and diet plan. The second got the test medicine along with the same exercise and diet plan. So people don't know which group they're in, which is the treatment group and which is the control group. So which one's the treatment group in this case?
The treatment group would be the second group because they're receiving the medicine that, or the weight loss drug.
Excellent. For sure. So the second group, the ones taking the test medicine, they're the treatment group. The first group, since they have a chemically inactive pill, they're the control group. Okay, some more vocab, blind versus double-blind studies. Now, if you've been following the vaccine trials, this is one of the big components of whether it's a valid research study or not. Is it a blind study or a double-blind study? So let's look at the difference between them. The blind study is where the participant doesn't know, just like we were just talking about. They might be getting the treatment or they might just be getting a placebo or a fake medicine. A double-blind study is when neither the participants or anyone interacting with the participants knows that if they're who's in the control or who's in the treatment group. A double-blind study is really important so the researchers don't influence the person, because maybe they're recording observations, and if they know which group is getting the medicine and which group is not, they might unknowingly bias the study, right? Okay. Geez, so Pete. Okay, here's that same weight loss drug. And it says the patients don't know what group they're in, nor do the fitness and nutrition advisors. Is this blind, double blind, or neither? Haley said double blind. How many of you agree with double blind? Yes? Yeah, very nice. How do we know it's a double blind one? Because see, the nutritionists and the fitness people don't know either, right? Who was going to say something? Go ahead, Joya. Was that you?
Yeah, I was just going to say neither the patients nor the people doing it know. So.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. How about this one? It says they're studying the new HPV vaccines. They have them in two groups. One get the new vaccine, the other get the existing one. The patients don't know which group they're in. Is that blind, double blind, or neither? Very nice. Excellent. So when you're looking at research, you should really look into what strategies they're using to make sure that they're not affecting their study. Here's the confounding versus the placebo effects. We've talked about this a little bit. The placebo is when a person thinks they're getting treatment, and so they think they're getting better. So, but they're really not even getting anything. Sometimes they're just getting like a sugar pill. So that's when people think that they're getting better. That's called the placebo effect. So it's a mental thing. Confounding is a little harder, but it's also probably more common. Confounding is when the researcher has two or more variables that might have caused the outcome. And so you can't tell which one is doing it. And I think that's what's happening right now with COVID-19, right? Patients are coming in with COVID and doctors are just throwing all kinds of remedies, just trying to save their lives. So that's how we're having trouble knowing what is really helping people get better, right? What treatment works, and we're unsure. So, but right now we were just we didn't know enough about the virus, so we just had to try everything we can to keep people alive. Now that we're in the vaccine stages, now they're looking very specifically to see if they can just say one vaccine that will help patients. Sources of bias. This is kind of a hard part because there's a lot of vocab in there. But what I want you to think about, get through your more homework, make sense of it as well as you can. But also what I'm trying to get out of this is I want you to understand just when you look at research, and you should just know, is there some bias going on here? Some bias is easy to find. So there could be sampling bias. That's when it's not representative of the population. For example, if I wanted to get the opinion of all MCC students on a topic, and my sampling is I stand outside my math office and just ask 20 people who walk by my door. That's not going to be a representative sample, right? Because I just asked whoever walked by. It could just be all math people. It could have been, you know, just students that are there during the day. So depending on my question, I really want to make sure that I'm representing the entire population. Voluntary response bias. What if I'm only taking volunteers? That's problematic, right? Because I need more information, okay? A self-interest study. If the researcher has a vested interest in the outcome, this happens a lot, right? That's why we have independent labs verify research, because if it's the pharmaceutical company making the vaccine, of course they want it to work, right? Because they have a vested interest in the outcome because they're going to make a lot of money. And then response bias. This is one that's really hard to control by the researcher because it's just the respondent. So the respondent can just lie, right? Or give an inaccurate response, which could cause bias. That one's really hard to control. I'm posting all these slides, so no worries if you didn't get them all. You're okay. Perceived lack of anonymity. Have you ever filled out a survey or an evaluation and you're worried that they know who you are? Yeah, like for a teacher, and you think the teacher's going to get it before your grade's done. So that's problematic. That's perceived lack of anonymity. You might fear that something negative is going to happen to you. Just refusing to participate in this study, non-response bias. They're not responding at all. The one I see the most, I would say, is loaded questions. The way the question is worded influences the responses. And we're going to look at some examples of these. So look at this one right here. Should the mall prohibit loud and annoying rock music in clothing stores catering to teenagers? What type of bias do you think that is? You can just talk. Anyone notice anything in there? Go ahead, who was that?
It's biased against rock music.
Yeah, so it's a loaded question, right, Nathan? So they want you to say, oh yeah, those pesky teenagers, they do have loud music, right? So those are loaded questions. Excellent, good job. How about this one? To determine opinions on voter support for a downtown renovation project, a surveyor randomly questions people working in downtown businesses. Is there any bias there, and what bias would it be?
Sampling
Haley,
bias.
were you answering? Oh, Laura, were you saying sampling bias? Yeah, what's wrong with their sample? Haley agreed with you. What's wrong with that?
So it's not representative of the population because they're all working in downtown business.
Yeah, so what about the people who are living down there? Maybe they have an opinion, right? Or what about people who live outside the city, but they might still have an opinion on what happens downtown? Excellent. So that's what we're talking about. It doesn't take people into consideration who are not in the downtown area or people who are living downtown. How about this way? This is one of my favorites. A survey asks people to report their actual income and the income they reported on their IRS tax form. Is there any bias there?
Is it the lack of anonymity? I don't know.
That's a hard word to say, right?
Yeah.
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
Yeah, Mason, why wouldn't people tell you how much they made compared to what they reported on their IRS tax form?
There's probably people say they make more when they don't, or you know, they just, you know how people are.
Yeah, for sure. And would you be worried? Yeah, tax evasion. Good job, Matt. I'd be worried that they'd be coming after me, right? So people might be afraid to give an honest answer. Okay, how about this one? This is one of my favorites because I don't know who wrote this book, but who uses a phone book, by the way? A survey randomly calls people from the phone book. I don't think that exists. And asks them to answer a long series of questions. What could be the problem here? Yeah, we used to have phone books, right? Now we just recycle them.
Volunteer basis bias, I mean.
Yeah, so could you have people, first of all, how many of you answer your phone to somebody you don't know? Not very many of us, right? So we're non-responding, right? Because we're not going to answer those long questions. Or if you hang up halfway through. Okay, how about this? What's wrong with this one? Should the death penalty be permitted if innocent people might die?
Loaded
Loaded.
question.
That is a very loaded question, isn't it, right? You're getting into beliefs, and they're trying to promote a certain side, and we don't want to do that if we're taking a survey or if we're actually doing a study. Jose, I love that every once in a while to mess with them. I was trying to be really polite one day, and I answered my phone, and it was a survey, and they started, and I go, I'm really sorry, I'm just not interested. I was trying to be polite, right? And the person goes, well, ma'am, what aren't you interested in? And I said, talking to you, and hung up. That might have been a little sassy. I tried to be nice. They just didn't get it. Like, I could have just hung up. Yeah, it was mean, but it was okay. So, yeah, I just shouldn't have got it at all. How about this one? A study seeks to investigate whether a new pain medication is safe to market to the public. They test by randomly selecting 300 men from a set of volunteers. What's wrong with this?
Volunteer bias.
There you go. It's a volunteer bias. And by the way, that
Isn't it
might not be a
sample?
representative sample either. Joya, was that what you were going to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it both? I thought it was both because I was like,
Yeah,
it's
it
only
is both.
men and 300 men.
Yeah. So you sometimes there's more than one type of bias going on there. Absolutely. Okay. I think this is our last one. A research study funded by a shoe polish company found that scuffed shoes were the #1 reason to not hire a job applicant. What's wrong with that? I don't think it's response bias. It'll read very carefully. It says, thank you, Caden. Caden, what's wrong with that?
It was funded by a shoe polishing company, so
Yeah.
they'd want the answer to be that you lose jobs.
Yeah, so if you don't have shiny shoes, you're not going to get hired, right? Good job, Caden. That's absolutely correct. You see self-interest studies all the time. Yes. Have you ever watched a commercial where they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day? Who's that? Who's doing the commercial? A breakfast cereal company, right? So they make it look like that. Okay, now what I want to tell you before I show you the exit ticket, make sure you get both your assignments done. It's S1 practice, and then it's S2 mini lesson. Tomorrow in class, we're going to go over just briefly S2, which is graphs and types of graphs, and then you're going to be in groups doing a mini project. And whatever you get done in class, you don't have for homework, which is nice. So you want to make sure that you have a plan for how you're going to share with your group and all those kind of things, right? The document. You won't see that document until you come to class tomorrow. Okay? Questions on that? Okay, I'm going to put the exit ticket in the chat. And then I will scroll to the next screen. Make sure if you have any questions or need anything, you contact me, because it's going to start getting busy, right? Lots of assignments, lots of things like that. You don't want to get left behind. And I really hope that's the right exit ticket. Hopefully it's not the same one you did the other day. Oh, good, it's not. Good. And then once you're done with the exit ticket, you're free to go. I'll hang out on here if you have any questions. Look at me, done on time. Thanks, Haley.
So I have a little question about volunteer bias.
I'm ready.
So I've always wondered, why is it a bias? Like why, like people who volunteer to give a response, do they tend to have certain kind of response, or why does it generate a bias?
Well, typically people who are willing to respond to whatever the topic is that you're talking about are usually going to have positive things to say about the topic. Not always, but sometimes. So you have to be careful and just make sure you're getting both sides of the issue. Now, and sometimes your volunteers will just be polarized of the issue. They will be one way or the other. They won't give you the average person's idea. They will have a very strong opinion in favor or against. So you just have to make sure that you're really getting everyone you need so you see the whole picture. Does that help, Laura?
A lot, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, have a great day.
Yep, you too.